Global Martial Soul. Start Awakening Deathwing. Chapter 71. He took out 2 million so easily, it seems that this is not his limit. Su Yi narrowed his eyes, looking at Li Gao, who left with some regret. Forget it, this is just a fraction, the key is still the beast. He shook his head, ready to leave. Student, can you wait a moment? Accompanied by a crisp voice, Chen Wan, whom he had met before, appeared in front of him with a smile on his face. Is there something wrong? Su Yi asked. Let me introduce myself, I am Chen Wan, the captain of the civet team and also a junior student at Jiating Soul Warrior University. Quote. Chen Wan smiled sweetly. Wang Ximing, Dong Wei, Zhao Ling, they are all members of the civet team. At the same time, they are all students of Jiating Soul Warrior University. The 3 team members behind her nodded slightly. Su Yi, a freshman from the soul of the Demon City. Because the other party reminded her kindly just now, Su Yi didn't hide her background. Freshman. Chen Wan's eyes widened when she heard the words, and her beautiful pupils were filled with incredible expressions. The moment he saw Su Yi knock Li Gao down, she knew that she was wrong before. It turned out that Su Yi wasn't arrogant, but really didn't care. Unexpectedly, such a powerful person is not just a freshman. Behind Chen Wan, the 3 team members were also shocked. You know, it's only July now. There are still 2 months until the freshman enrollment. Only 1 month has passed since the day of Wuhun awakening. And this freshman who has only awakened his martial soul for only a month has the strength to instantly kill a 6th order soul warrior. How does this not shock them? At this moment, they felt that their worldview was somewhat subverted. As expected of a student of the Demon Capital Soul Martial Arts University, amazing. After a while, Chen Wan smiled wryly. She is now at the 7th level of extraordinary, which is stronger than the whole height. And it took her more than 3 years to get to this point. With the deterrent power that Su Yi showed just now, maybe even he might not be able to defeat him. Call. Chen Wan took a deep breath and calmed down before asking with hope. Student Su, would you like to join our civet team? She came here with the idea of pulling the opponent into the team. Sorry, I don't have any idea of joining the team right now. Su Yi shook his head. For him, it is more convenient to move alone. Moreover, with the Horcruxes given by Mr. Zhang and Zhu Jinyu, there is no fatal danger in this small wilderness area where the highest level of beasts is no more than the 2nd level. There is no need to team up to increase security. Is that so? Fine then. When Chen Wan learned of Su Yi's identity as a freshman, Chen Wan also expected this scene. But when she was really rejected by the other party, she was still slightly disappointed. After all, this is an extremely powerful fighter. Joining their own team, their efficiency in hunting ferocious beasts will at least double. That's right, you are so strong in your freshman year, and you are destined to be different from us in the future. It's not good to join our team. She quickly cheered up and said with a smile. Then how about we add a contact method? As a freshman, he has the strength to instantly kill extraordinary 6th order soul warriors. Future achievements must be limitless. If you can make friends with such a strong person in advance, you may be able to use them in the future. Okay, Su Yi smiled. Then he left his contact information for Chen Wan. After Chen Wan left with the Civet Cat team, many teams came over and invited him to join their team. Many of them are teams from the Demon Capital Soul Martial Arts University. For these teams, he refused all of them without hesitation. Then turn around and walk quickly to the entrance of the wilderness area, verify your identity, and quickly enter the wilderness area. Roar. Ah. As soon as he entered the wilderness area, bursts of terrifying howls of ferocious beasts came from afar. The ferocious beasts within 5 kilometers of the supply base will be cleared every 3 years. It has been 2 years since the last cleaning. With the terrifying reproduction ability of the ferocious beasts, the number of ferocious beasts within 5 kilometers of Fangyuan, although not as many as the number of ferocious beasts 5 kilometers away, is still around 1,000. And these terrifying roars were made by these ferocious beasts. Ha, come in, let's go, let's hurry up and go to County A. Let's go to City C, the beasts over there are all 1st order primary on average. Let's go, this time our Shadow Knife team must make enough 500,000. In addition to Su Yi, there are some other teams next to it. They are obviously veterans who often go in and out of the wilderness area, and the roar of the ferocious beast did not affect them at all. Instead, he looked relaxed and comfortable, and quickly disappeared at the entrance. Su Yi was not in a hurry to leave, and walked slowly while carefully observing the surrounding environment. The area where he is now, 300 years ago, was the area where Nantong City, Jiangsu Province, a province adjacent to the magic capital, was located. However, under the impact of the invasion of ferocious beasts 300 years ago, Nantong City fell rapidly. The mountains and forests are full of fierce beasts. The entire Nantong City soon became a paradise for ferocious beasts, which has continued until now. Of course, this is also a training place specially reserved by Huasha Kingdom for future generations. After all, the current Huasha Kingdom randomly dispatching a Tiangong rank soul warrior is enough to level this small wilderness area. The road that Su Yi is taking now is the original highway from Dongjiang District to Nantong City. After more than 300 years, this expressway has long been dilapidated, and the road surface has cracked several cracks. At a glance, dilapidated or broken cars, vans, trucks, etc. can be seen everywhere on this stretch of highway. From time to time, blackened blood can be seen on the ground. Fortunately, decades after the appearance of fierce beasts, humans have also mastered the method of awakening martial souls and transforming soul energy. Otherwise, the entire blue star might have become a paradise for ferocious beasts. Quote. Su Yi shook his head, and with a bang, the blood shadow war saber was pulled out of the scabbard, and he held it tightly in his hand. This is the blood shadow sword he bought on the student system for more than 800,000 yuan last night. The material is D-grade alloy. The total weight is as high as 223 kg. Now he is using it smoothly. Call. Su Yi, who drew out his saber, let out a sigh of relief, and then looked into the distance. Let's go. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, and the bright morning sun shines on this highway that has been silent, dilapidated and in disrepair for more than 300 years. And the resolute young man with a sword in his hand and a large backpack on his back is constantly advancing along this highway. The oblique sunlight shone on him, casting a long shadow on the road. Cooperating with the morning sun in the distant sky, it constitutes a beautiful picture. It's a pity that no one can appreciate such a scene. 5 kilometers, for the current Su Yi, it takes less than an hour to travel at full speed. But for the sake of caution, he slowed down a little. It took less than 2 hours to get out of the area where Lu was rare. Arrived in front of a dilapidated city ruins. From the dilapidated high-rise buildings in the distance, and the shopping mall that has lost its glamorous appearance due to time, it can be seen that this place was once a prosperous city. Roar. Ah. From the ruins of the city, there came the roars of ferocious beasts that were much more frequent and terrifying than before. Even if you are far away, you can feel the crazy bloodthirsty meaning in it. For the soul fighters who entered the wilderness area for the first time, they would probably feel a little bit numb just hearing the roar, and the operation of their soul power would be difficult. But for Su Yi, the roar of the beast that surrounds his ears not only does not make him feel scared. Instead, his whole body seemed to wake up from a deep sleep. All the cells in the body are active. Ling'an County, we're here. Su Yi's eyes flashed with fanatical fighting intent. Ling'an County is a county seat in Nankyun City. Now, it has been occupied by fierce beasts. According to the information displayed on the map, money is good, there are at least thousands of beasts entrenched in this county. The highest level of the beast is the first level elite, whose strength is comparable to that of the 9th level extraordinary soul warrior. Start killing. Holding the saber in his hand, Su Yi entered the county seat in a flash. Although ferocious beasts are called beasts, their intelligence is not low. The intelligence of a first-order advanced beast is equivalent to that of a 7 or 8-year-old common child. In this case, if it causes a large-scale sensation, it is easy to be chased and killed by thousands of fierce beasts in the entire county. Therefore, even though Su Yi has the ability to deal with nearly 100 first-level intermediate beasts at the same time, but he still only chooses to deal with single ferocious beasts, or small groups of ferocious beasts whose number does not exceed 20. Ding, kill a Tier 1 intermediate mastiff and get 50 soul points. Ding, kill a Tier 1 primary iron cat pig and get 20 soul points. Ding, kill a first-order intermediate shadow cat and get 60 soul points. Ding, kill a tier 1 advanced mastiff and get 80 soul points. Dash. Just like that, Su Yi, one person at a time, crisscrossed the dilapidated Ling'an County. Like a tireless machine, it kept killing ferocious beasts. And the soul points on his system also increased rapidly at a terrifying speed. The city ruins of Ling'an County, in a community. It is said to be a community, but in fact many of the surrounding walls have been knocked down, and only the remaining walls are crumbling. At this time, there was a group of 5 people walking cautiously against the dilapidated wall. This is a lineup of 2 women and 3 men. Among them, 3 men and 1 woman looked to be in their 30s or 40s, with mature looks and vicissitudes in their eyes. Only the girl in the middle looks like she is only in her 20s, elegant and dewy. But this group of people, regardless of age and appearance, they were all wearing protective suits and holding weapons in their hands. Dad, we've all been in Ling'an County all morning, why haven't we even encountered a decent beast? The pure-looking girl in her 20s in the team complained. She was wearing the Phantom Series combat uniform, which was the same as the Silver Fox series, with a slightly tight effect. Under the outline of this combat uniform, her well-developed figure is extremely revealing. The chest is full and straight, and the legs are straight and slender. And the most conspicuous one is an emblem on the right side of her battle suit. It turned out to be a gorgeous black and gold phoenix with spread wings. I don't know what's going on. In the past, there were quite a lot of beasts in Ling'an County. The bald man in the middle of the line scratched his head, a little puzzled. His name is Zhang Han, and he is the captain of this team. 2 years ago, his daughter, Zhang Chuyu, awakened the A-level martial spirit Silver Moon Fierce Fox, and was admitted to the Demon City Soul Warrior University. And recently, because my daughter has entered the 5th level of Extraordinary, I need to start doing school tasks. Simply, he asked his daughter to follow his team into the wilderness area to practice and accumulate more practical experience. And the place they chose for actual combat experience was Ling'an County. It is also the place where their team often came to hunt and kill fierce beasts in the past, and it has an intelligence advantage. But what is strange is that they have been in the wilderness area for most of the day. He didn't even meet a first-order intermediate beast. Even, the howls of ferocious beasts reverberating in my ears are much rarer than before. Could it be that the ferocious beasts in this wilderness area have migrated to other places after not coming for a month? Zhang Han was a little puzzled. Like common beasts, ferocious beasts also have migratory behaviors. But this behavior is extremely rare. Moreover, even if they migrated, it wouldn't be a long time without encountering a first-order intermediate beast, right? I heard from a friend in another team. In the past 2 weeks, the number of ferocious beasts in Ling'an County has decreased sharply. It seems that there are strong people hunting and killing ferocious beasts on a large scale here. In the team, a middle-aged man said in a deep voice. I also saw such a post on the forum. It is said that because of the appearance of this mysterious strong man, many low-level beasts have migrated out of Ling'an County. Quote, I thought the post was false, but now it seems that it should be true. Another middle-aged woman said. Every wilderness area in China will have an officially established wilderness area forum. Soul fighters can form teams, sell materials, and exchange information there. And that post was what she found without brushing before she set off into the wilderness area. Mysterious strong man. Zhang Han frowned. Those who can be called strong must be at least above the 8th level of Extraordinary. And the strong ones who can run freely in the Dongjiang wilderness area are basically people with names and surnames. But the word, mysterious, was added, which meant that if the other party hadn't risen very quickly, everyone would still not know his origin, Aji. Otherwise, it is a strong soul warrior from outside. But no matter what the possibility is, it is an absolute fact that the number of ferocious beasts in this county has decreased. Oh, let's look for a while. If we still can't find the first-order intermediate beast, we will go to Ping'an County on the other side. 11. Zhang Han sighed. Without the first-order intermediate beast to try out, the training effect will not be achieved at all. So, although Ping'an County is a bit further away and more dangerous, but for his daughter, he can only fight. Roar. At this moment, a loud roar resounded in the ruins of the city. This voice. Zhang Han's face changed suddenly, and he hurriedly looked towards the source of the sound. 100 meters ahead, a huge owl dog emerged from a supermarket. It is 1.5 meters tall and nearly 1 meter wide. Standing there, it looks like a large armored vehicle. And behind this owl dog, 3 slender tails are flying up and down. There were bursts of piercing sound. Roar! It spotted Zhang Han and his party ahead, and let out a roar of excitement. Then he moved his thick limbs and rushed towards this side. In its eyes, there is a bloodthirsty scarlet meaning. Oops, it's the First Order Advanced Elite Ao Quan, run away. Zhang Han opened his eyes and let out a roar, but suddenly burst out his soul power and rushed over there. The first level high-level elite Ao dog is equivalent to the strength of an extraordinary 8th level soul warrior, and the speed is as high as 32 meters per second. Among them, he was the highest level, but only at the 7th level of extraordinary. The running speed is only 24 meters per second. With the help of the terrain, it might be possible to get rid of this Ao dog. But he can't run. Behind him, there are not only his teammates who have been with him for several years, but also his own daughter. Therefore, not only can he not run, but he needs to stay and stop this Ao dog. Team leader. The rest of the team members were also stunned by the sudden change. But after all, he is a seasoned soul warrior who has gone through life and death many times, and he knows that if he doesn't run now, the captain will only sacrifice in vain. Therefore, they quickly calmed down their sorrow and pulled Zhang Chuyu to run away. Dad. Looking at Ao Quan, who quickly rushed towards his father Zhang Han, Zhang Chuyu felt his whole body was cold and his hands and feet were numb. He was fine just now, why is he about to die suddenly? If only, I hadn't begged my father to take me into the wilderness. At this moment, she regretted it immensely. Xiaoyu, hurry up, don't let your father sacrifice in vain. The only middle-aged woman in the team said quickly. Seeing that Zhang Chuyu was still in a daze, she hurriedly pulled her with her hand. Lightning flash. At this moment, a deep voice suddenly sounded. Wow, the knife light, as bright as lightning, lights up in this area. Then, the ferocious head on the huge Agu's shoulders was chopped off high, and then fell to the ground. And in its lifeless eyes, there is still the excitement and bloodthirsty feeling before throwing down its prey. Puff. Red blood, like a fountain, soared into the sky from the smooth fracture of Ao Quan's neck. Immediately after a bang, the headless body fell to the ground, splashing a cloud of dust. From the light of the knife to the fall of Ao Quan. All of this happened between lightning and flint. Even before the tears on Zhang Chuyu's face fell to the ground, the crisis was resolved. This is. Zhang Chuyu quickly looked carefully. He saw next to his father, a young man wearing a black suit appeared at some unknown time. He has a resolute and handsome appearance, and a golden red soul power lingers on his strong and tall body. And behind him, the phantom of a ferocious giant dragon is slowly dissipating. His whole body, just standing there, exudes a heavy sense of oppression. As if, he himself is the most powerful beast. And on the right hand of this tall young man, he held a long knife. At this moment, drops of Red's blood were dripping down the tip of the knife. There are fewer and fewer high-level beasts in Ling'an County. Looking at Ao Quan's corpse not far ahead, Suyi felt helpless. It has been more than half a month since he entered Ling'an County. In the past half a month, because of his frantic killing, the number of ferocious beasts in the county has decreased sharply. There have even been cases of ferocious beasts migrating to other places. As for the First Order Advanced Ao Quan in front of him, he found it after searching for a long time. It seems that we have to hunt the beast in another place. Suyi said silently in his heart, and at the same time secretly opened his own system panel in his heart. Host. Open black lens bracket Suyi close black lens bracket. Level. Open black lens bracket extraordinary tier 3 plus close black lens bracket. Soul point. Open black lens bracket 21261 close black lens bracket. Martial soul. Deathwing SSS level. Passive talent. Advanced fire element affinity, rage, dragon body, dragon might, prehistoric flame, forbidden. Active talents. Magma flame 1/1, lava burst, forbidden, cataclysm, forbidden. Soul skills. Extreme Flame Crazy Saber, Dachung plus Spirit Sparrow Step, Dachung plus Red Dragon Fist, Dachung plus Lightning Slash, Small Success plus Thunderbolt Hand, Small Success plus. Body Forging. The anode is immortal, the first floor. Compared with half a month ago, apart from 2 more, lightning slash, and running thunder hand, soul skills on the system panel, the biggest difference is the soul points. After more than 20 days of killing, his soul points reached an astonishing 2,126 points. With such a terrifying pile of soul points, all levels and soul skills can be upgraded except Anode Immortality. Of course, when the soul point reaches 2,000 points, he can already upgrade the level. However, he wanted to see how many soul points were needed to upgrade Anode Immortal Body, so he saved the soul points. Unexpectedly, now that the soul points have reached more than 20,000, it is actually not enough. As expected of a soul skill with the potential to evolve to the heaven rank, it takes too many soul points to raise one level. Su Yi felt a little helpless. Forget it, let's raise the level first. The higher the level, the stronger the beast can be killed, and more soul points can be obtained. Quote. Who? Zhang Han fell to the ground, panting heavily. Although he hasn't even started fighting yet, this feeling of escaping from the dead. It still made him feel like he had experienced an extreme battle, sweating profusely, and his whole body was limp and weak. Almost died. Zhang Han looked at the corpse of Ao Quan, who had died most of the nearby ground, red with some fear. At the moment when Ao Quan jumped at him, his mind even started to run around. Fortunately, he was rescued. Zhang Han turned his head to look at the tall young man next to him. Slaying a first-order advanced mastiff with one blow, it seems that this is the mysterious strongman mentioned on the forum. I didn't expect to be so young. Although the young man's face is calm and vigorous. But Zhang Han could tell that the other party and his daughter were in the same age group. Even, possibly smaller. Thank you, little brother, for helping me out. Zhang Han stood up and thanked him respectfully. Even though Su Yi looked young, he didn't show any sign of contempt. It's nothing, just a little effort. Su Yi said indifferently, swung his right hand vigorously, and then stopped suddenly. Laugh. The remaining blood on the saber was thrown off with inertia, and the entire blade returned to its original clean appearance. Under the sunlight at noon, it reflects a cold light. Little brother is a student of the demon capital Seoul Martial Arts University. Zhang Han's eyes lit up when he saw the phoenix emblem on Su Yi's right chest exposed because he turned sideways. Su Yi nodded slightly. The school emblem of Hanwoo University in the Magic City is known to almost everyone in the Magic City. It's not surprising to be recognized. Coincidentally, my daughter is also a student of the demon capital Seoul Martial Arts University. Zhang Han's eyes became brighter. Dad, are you okay? At this time, Zhang Chuyu walked over eagerly, while the remaining 3 team members followed behind with smiles on their faces. The life and death crisis was lifted, and they also relaxed. Fine. Zhang Han laughed and said, with your senior around, what can I do? Senior. Zhang Chuyuchao looked at Su Yi with a puzzled look on her face. Sure enough, on the right chest of his battle suit, he saw the same gorgeous phoenix mark. Come on, little brother, let me introduce you, this is my daughter Zhang Chuyu. He is also a student of Seoul Martial Arts University in the capital city. He is a sophomore this year and will be entering his junior year soon. Quote. Zhang Han had a warm smile on his face. Xiaoyu, this is your senior. When he was about to introduce Su Yi's name, he suddenly remembered that he didn't seem to ask the other party his name yet. Su Yi. A rare smile appeared on Su Yi's face. This was the first time he met an alumnus from the same school in half a month since he entered the wilderness area. What a warm smile. Single quote. Looking at Su Yi's sudden smile on his cold face, Zhang Chuyu was a little crazy for a moment. It's not her fault either. After Su Yi saved her father's life, she already had a fan filter on Su Yi. In addition, Su Yi's temperament and appearance are also the most top-notch. A smile at this time naturally made her a little obsessed. Hey, this little brother Su is your senior. Zhang Han coughed dryly, and Zhang Chuyu came back to his senses. His little face instantly turned bright red, and he whispered, Hello, Senior Su. Forehead. Hearing this address, Su Yi touched his nose and carefully observed the girl in front of him. This girl named Zhang Chuyu can be called a beauty in the standard sense. A head of black hair, long and straight. The face is also a standard oval face, different from Zhu Jinyu's coquettish. This girl's appearance is very pure. Some are similar to the pure high school students in the previous life. But even though she looks so pure and immature, her figure is not immature. On the contrary, it has developed quite a large scale. Outlined by the Shadow series combat uniforms, it looks uneven. Although not as hot as Zhu Jinyu, it can be considered top-notch. What is even more surprising is that her eyes are as clear as a baby. What's more, at this time, there is also a sense of ardent admiration for his senior. Facing this gaze, Suyi really couldn't bear to tell the other party that she was just a freshman. So, I saw him nodding his head slightly, and said with a light smile. "Hello, schoolgirl." Facing Suyi's gaze, Zhang Chuyu lowered his head slightly, and the redness on his brow and face deepened even more. Like a red apple, it wants someone to take a bite. Okay, everyone knows each other, let's get out of here quickly. Otherwise, it would be bad if the beasts came around later. Quote. Zhang Han clapped his hands. In the wilderness, the most dangerous situation is being besieged by ferocious beasts. Those endless ferocious beasts, even soul fighters with the strength of Tiangong level, may be consumed to death. Don't be afraid, the beasts in Ling'an County have already been taken care of by me. The rest are just low-level beasts. Quote. Su Yi said with a smile, then pulled out the dagger on his leg and walked towards Ao Quan's body. Yes, only then did Zhang Han remember that the one in front of him could almost wipe out all the beasts in Ling'an County. As expected of a student of the demon capital Seoul Martial Arts University, it's too monstrous. Zhang Han sighed with emotion. After seeing that Su Yi had knelt down to dissect the body of Ao Quan in front of him, he quickly said to his daughter. Xiaoyu, hurry up and help you grow up. Oh. Only then did Zhang Chuyu recover from his shyness, and walk towards Su Yi with slender steps. Old Zhang, your intention is not pure. In the line, a bald middle-aged man said with a smile. I'm afraid I don't want to find a good son-in-law for myself. Another middle-aged man with a scar on his face also joked with a smile. Yes, I just want to find a son-in-law for myself. Zhang Han did not deny it, but said with a smile. Old Zhang, are you serious? The previous bald middle-aged man did not expect that he had guessed Zhang Han's mind. If you don't come, is it true or not? Zhang Han stared. You are so young, and you have a good appearance and temperament, and you are still in the same school as Xiaoyu. More importantly, the strength is still strong. Such a person is just right for my little one. That's right, this little brother can stay here alone for more than half a month, which shows that he can endure loneliness and has a firm mind. After staying here for more than half a month, he was able to almost wipe out the beasts here, which shows that he is not only powerful, but also brave and resourceful. Moreover, he was able to save people at a critical moment just now, which shows that he has a kind heart. Such a firm and strong young man with a kind heart is indeed rare. It's really good to be a young boyfriend. Quote, the bald man thought carefully. Suddenly, he regretted how he gave birth to a son back then. Now I have to worry about him all the time. Watching other people give birth to a daughter, not only will they have a caring little padded jacket, but they will also have a strong son-in-law in the future. This class will get a qualitative improvement in an instant. Is it still necessary for you to say that? There was an unstoppable smile on Zhang Han's face. Unexpectedly, this time not only was there no danger to his life, but he also picked up a son-in-law for nothing. As for whether his daughter can attract Su Yi, he never worried at all. After all, even if her daughter is in the magical capital of Seoul Wuda, where there are many beauties, she is also known as a flower. Are you still afraid that you won't be able to take down a hot-blooded young man who is full of vigor? Laugh. With a light swipe of the sharp dagger, Ao Quan's hard skin was cut open, revealing the steaming internal organs. As expected of an expensive dagger, it's just easy to use. A smile appeared on Su Yi's face. This dagger is made of grade B alloy and is extremely sharp. He bought it for more than 100,000 yuan when he was in school. It is specially used for dissecting corpses and collecting materials. He has used it for more than half a month. So far, he has basically not touched the skin that this dagger cannot cut. After digging open the skin, he continued to throw his dagger towards Ao Quan's body. The most valuable part of Ao Dog is a tough tendon near the spine. His goal is this tendon. Senior Su, let me help you. Zhang Chuyu walked over with slender steps, took out a dagger, and squatted down beside Su Yi. And the moment she squatted down, the astonishing fullness of her chest was squeezed out of a thrilling arc by her knees. Laugh. I saw her dagger cut out Quan's tough skin, cutting a centimeter, but it couldn't cut any more. So hard. Zhang Chuyu blushed immediately. It's not that she has never collected materials from ferocious beasts, but she has never had a ferocious beast's skin that is so difficult to cut. However, she forgot that all the skins she cut before were the skins of low-level ferocious beasts of the First Order. Now this end as the First Order advanced. Even if she died, with her strength, she couldn't break the defense. No, I must cut it off. She bit her lip lightly, a tinge of light blue appeared on her right hand, and she actually used the 5 cards directly. Your strength is too weak, you shouldn't be cutting against the opposite direction, you should be like this, cutting along the skin of the beast. Su Yi at the side glanced at the cutting direction of Zhang Chuyu's dagger, and then guided. In the past half-month, he killed almost 400 beasts. It can be said that when it comes to dissecting corpses and collecting materials, it is not the great sage. It shouldn't be too far from here. Oh, Zhang Chuyu's eyes lit up, and he tried to change the direction of force. Laugh. Ao Quan's skin was slowly cut open again. Thank you, Senior Su, for your guidance. Zhang Chuyu quickly thanked him. Although she still had to use a lot of strength to cut the skin, it was much better than before. With Zhang Chuyu's help, Su Yi quickly collected the tendons from Ao Quan's body. Take out the fresh water that you carry with you and rinse it off. He got a light yellow tough tendon about 2 meters long. Yes, the materials are collected, and I gave birth to. Quote. Su Yi stood up and stuffed the ribs into the tactical backpack behind him. Ha, senior, you just finished collecting. Zhang Chuyu, who was squatting on the ground, wondered, teeth, claws, there are many good things on this Ao dog. A first-tier ferocious beast can be said to be full of treasures. She doesn't know why Su Yi only collects tendons. I don't want those anymore, I leave them to you. Su Yi said with a smile. If he had collected materials for each beast, his backpack would have been full. Zhang Shuimei, then I'll go first, see you at school next time. 0.0. After finishing speaking, without waiting for Zhang Chuyu to reply, Su Yi turned around and left the place quickly. Let's go like this. Zhang Chuyu tilted her head, with a messy look on her innocent face. Unexpectedly, this senior was so vigorous and resolute, and he didn't get out of trouble at all. That senior of yours is gone. At this time, Zhang Peng walked up with a smile. Zhang Chuyu nodded slightly, and stood up regretfully. He said that the remaining materials of the Ao dog's body were left to us. Although she and Su Yi have only known each other for less than 5 or 6 minutes, I don't know why. Su Yi left suddenly, she felt a little bit reluctant. You hate him, Zhang Han suddenly said. Zhang Chuyu nodded subconsciously, and then found several other elders looking at him with a smile on their faces. It seems that our little one has grown up. Haha, Xiaoyu was still so young back then, but in a blink of an eye, she has reached the age where she should play with her boyfriend. That's right, Xiaoyu will be in her 20s in 2 months, it's about time. Hearing the ridicule from the elders around, Zhang Chuyu blushed again, and waved his hands quickly. No, I just have some admiration for Senior Su. It's okay, just go after it if you like, Dad won't stop you. Zhang Han waved his hand and said proudly. Dad. Zhang Chuyu was a little confused at this moment. Didn't you say that dating is not allowed in universities? Ahem, isn't that because I'm afraid that you will be deceived by other brats? Zhang Han coughed dryly and argued. But this Su Yi is different, not only saved your father and my life, but also has a good temper. It is a good belonging. Quote, Dad, what did you say? Hearing that his father, Zhang Han, was talking about belonging, Zhang Chuyu couldn't help thinking about it while being extremely shy. Okay, no kidding. Zhang Han laughed and said, although Su Yi looks pretty good now, let's get to know him in the future. After all, you are in the same school. At that time, whether you want to be together or not is up to you to decide. Quote, although Zhang Han is very optimistic about Su Yi, it still depends on his daughter's feelings. I understood. Zhang Chuyu nodded slightly. Then he turned and looked in the direction Su Yi was leaving. For a while, I was looking forward to the scene of the next meeting in school. Okay, let's start packing up this dog's body. After collecting the materials, we will change to another place to accompany Xiao Xiao to practice. It is best to change to a safer place. This level of ferocious beast area, with small children, is still too dangerous. Amidst his father Zhang Han's nagging, Zhang Chuyu slowly looked away. Start gathering materials with them. And Su Yi's appearance and figure are firmly in her heart. After returning to school, they inquired about who this senior was. After leaving Zhang Chuyu and his group, Su Yi ran quickly and finally entered a dilapidated tall building. After entering the high-rise building, he was like a vigorous cheetah, crossing 7 or 8 steps with each step, and quickly went upstairs. End up in a common room on the 6th floor. The room is very simple, with only a small desk and a single bed. In addition, there is a huge black backpack leaning against the corner. Phew, I'm back. Su Yi threw the backpack to the corner, and then sat down on the seat. This room is his temporary residence. He has been living here for half a month. System. Su Yi, who was sitting on the seat, brought up the system panel again. Host. Open black lens bracket. Su Yi close black lens bracket. Level. Open black lens bracket. Extraordinary tier 3 plus close black lens bracket. Soul point. Open black lens bracket 21261 close black lens bracket. Martial soul. Deathwing SSS level. Passive talent. Advanced fire element affinity, rage, dragon body, dragon might, prehistoric flame forbidden. Active talents. Magma flame 1/1, lava burst forbidden, cataclysm forbidden. Soul skills. Extreme Flame Crazy Saber, Dachung plus Spirit Sparrow Step, Dachung plus Red Dragon Fist, Dachung plus Lightning Slash, Small Success plus Thunderbolt Hand, Small Success plus. Body Forging. The Anode is Immortal, the 1st floor. Ow Dog, Earth Splitting Tiger, Shadow Cat, Iron Hair Pig. In the past half a month, I have killed all the common beasts. The total number of beasts killed has also reached a terrifying 400 plus heads. Ping 09 killed 20 beasts every day. It can be said that during the first half month, I was either hunting ferocious beasts or walking on the road of hunting ferocious beasts. After working so hard for so long, he got 20,000 soul points. Quote. Su Yi looked at the soul points on the system panel and was deeply moved. Although in high school, he lived alone. But anyway, on weekdays, I still go to school to attend classes, accompanied by my classmates and buddies. And in these 20 days, he is truly alone. One person kills fierce beasts, one person exercises the body, and one person practices soul skills. Sometimes, even days without speaking. However, living alone, although lonely, is not entirely without benefits. Just like his temperament, even now there is still the passive talent Longwei of Wuhun, which exudes oppression all the time. But he also doesn't look as sharp-edged as he used to be. Rather, it is like a sword hidden in a scabbard, which will only reveal its amazing edge at critical moments. For example, his soul point. In the process of killing fierce beasts alone, I have accumulated 20,000 points. Now, it's finally time to harvest. Su Yi grinned at the corner of his mouth, revealing a bright smile. Then he let out a low growl, and clicked the plus sign behind the level with his thoughts. System, add it to me. Boom, endless soul energy, like a storm, emerged from the air and poured into Su Yi's body. Then, under the effect of the Da Sun Soul Energy Guidance Method, all of them were converted into his own soul power. During the whole process, there is no side effect of Silk Camp. As if he just compressed his usual practice into a very short period of time. Outside, the sky above the tall building where Su Yi is. In the originally sunny weather, patches of dark clouds suddenly appeared, and a breath of imminent rain spread over the surface. That is, the performance of the soul can be condensed to the extreme. Hey, wasn't it sunny just now? Why is it suddenly going to rain? On a dilapidated road in Ling'an County, a member of Zhang Han's team looked at the dark clouds floating in the distance and asked in confusion. Let's go, this place can't stay longer. Looking at the dark clouds floating in the sky, Zhang Han frowned slightly. He could feel that a heavy and oppressive atmosphere was gathering in Ling'an County. Behind him, Zhang Chuyu glanced in the direction where the dark clouds appeared. Inexplicably, she felt that this dark cloud seemed to have something to do with Su Yi. Let's go, we don't need to worry about strong people like Su Yi. Zhang Han mistakenly thought that his daughter was worried about Su Yi, so he couldn't help comforting him. Dad, I know, let's go. Zhang Chuyu nodded, and stopped looking over there, and Shin followed the team and left. Now she is still too far away from Su Yi's world. Even if something happens to the other party, she cannot intervene. Dark clouds soon covered Ling'an County. The entire Ling'an County seemed to have suddenly entered the night, and the light was dim. Roar! Ah! In Ling'an County, the only remaining ferocious beast roared restlessly. The terrifying roar resounded throughout the county. Who? In the ruined high-rise building, endless soul energy poured into Su Yi's body. And his own soul power level is also increasing crazily. Click! Suddenly a faint voice sounded. The aura on Su Yi's body also increased sharply, and the level of his soul power increased by a large margin. Extraordinary Level 4, advanced successfully. Not enough. System, add it to me. At this time, Su Yi's eyes had turned into dazzling golden red, and his face was ferocious. Boom. As soon as his voice fell, the soul energy storm that was about to disperse condensed again. It poured into Su Yi's body at a speed several times faster than before. Roar. The gorgeous and powerful Deathwing martial soul suddenly condensed out and let out a deafening roar. After the phantom of Deathwing appeared, its huge size almost reached the ceiling. Call. I saw it open its huge dragon mouth and suck it hard. The speed at which soul energy is transformed into soul power has sped up again. Boom. Suddenly, a white light lit up outside the window, followed by loud thunder. Bang. A tree-shaped lightning flashed, and the bright light came in through the window, illuminating Su Yi's resolute face. Ha. Along with the thunder, the downpour of rain came crashing down. Thunder and lightning flashed outside the window, and the rain poured down, as if trying to wash away the oppressive atmosphere. The momentum was shocking. Inside the window, Su Yi closed his eyes tightly, enduring the severe pain caused by the rapid increase in the strength of his soul power. Click. The intensity of his soul power soared again, and the golden red soul power lingering around him was visibly thicker. Extraordinary Level 5, advanced successfully. But Su Yi didn't stop advancing. Instead, he looked ferocious and let out a beast-like roar. Not enough. My hard work for half a month is more than that. System, add me to the limit. Boom. Outside the window, a dragon-shaped lightning fell along with his voice. And in the room, the soul energy that was originally pale white was actually condensed into milky white. Who? The storm of soul energy condensed to the extreme roared in the room like a giant dragon. Then it was sucked in by the ferocious Deathwing storm, and transformed into Su Yi's own soul power. The whole process is violent and harmonious. The soul energy transformed crazily, and Su Yi's soul power began to soar again. A pain like the bite of thousands of ants emerged. But he didn't care about it. On the slightly ferocious face, there was a satisfied smile. On the contrary. That's right. I don't know how long it took. The dark clouds outside the window dispersed, and the rainstorm stopped. The entire Ling'an County was filled with a sense of freshness after the rain, and the depressing atmosphere was no longer there. And inside the window, Su Yi sat cross-legged on the ground, her eyes were slightly closed, her breathing was steady. At this time, in the dark part of the room, a huge shadow cat sneaked in at some point. It was slowly approaching Su Yi. Its huge body, which looks like a large common dog, was pressed on the floor. 010. Unexpectedly there was no sound at all. Just like a ghost, even the surrounding air turned a blind eye to it, without the slightest wave of being squeezed away. In less than 1 second, it was close to the 3-meter range of Su Yi. Looking at the human beings in front of it, it involuntarily opened its big mouth, revealing its fangs. And the sharp claws were swung down fiercely at this moment. Die. At this moment, Su Yi suddenly opened his eyes, the golden red light in his eyes soared. Deathwing's passive talent, Longwei, concentrates on one point, and presses down on this shadow cat with all his strength. Meow. Under the terrifying coercion of the dragon-like apex creature, the shadow cat let out a wail and fell to the ground. It turned out to be stared at to death by Su Yi. It's so irresistible. Su Yi was a little bored, and immediately stopped paying attention to the shadow cat, the field system panel. Host. Open black lens bracket Suyi close black lens bracket. Level. Extraordinary 6th order. Soul point. Open black lens bracket 0 close black lens bracket. Martial soul. Deathwing SSS level. Passive talent. Advanced fire element affinity, rage, dragon body, dragon might, prehistoric flame, forbidden. Active talents. Magma flame 1/1, lava burst forbidden, cataclysm forbidden. Soul skills. Extreme flame crazy knife dachang, spirit sparrow step dachang, red dragon fist dachang, lightning slash small success, thunderbolt hand small success. Body forging. The anode is immortal, the first floor. Sure enough, I have entered the 6th level of extraordinary. Suyi was very excited. From extraordinary level 3, advance to extraordinary level 6. It takes almost 2 or 3 years to become a common soul warrior. Even for the students of the Magic Capital Soul Martial Arts University, it will take nearly a year. And he himself just spent a few hours. It's so risky, I almost won't be able to advance. Looking at the soul point returning to 0, Sue kept calling it a fluke. In fact, after entering the 5th level of extraordinary, the plus sign after the system panel level is gone. However, with a fluke mentality, he tried it forcibly, but he didn't expect it to be really successful. It should be that the soul points are close to the promotion requirements, otherwise, it is impossible to advance so easily. Suyi said silently in his heart. Just now, he has raised 3 levels in total. From the 3rd level to the 4th level, it took 1,000 soul points. From the 4th level to the 5th level, it took 5,000 soul points. And from the 5th level to the 6th level, it took more than 15,000 soul points. As the level increases, more and more soul points need to be spent to advance. Suyi couldn't help clicking her tongue, but it's okay, if you get soul power from your own cultivation, the soul points you spend will be reduced accordingly. After entering the wilderness area, the first time a plus sign appeared after the system interface level was more than 10 days ago. At that time, it would cost 2,000 soul points to advance from Tier 3 to Tier 4. After more than 10 days, the consumption of soul points has decreased. That means that the soul points needed for promotion are not fixed. The longer he stays at a level, the deeper his own accumulation will be. And the soul points needed to advance will be less. It's quite humane. Suyi showed a smile, and immediately began to think about the next plan. I have almost killed all the ferocious beasts in Lingan County, but there are very few counties around here where thousands of ferocious beasts have gathered like this. The closest one also takes half a day to get there. That being the case, it's better to go back to the supply base first, and then go to other large-scale ferocious beast gathering areas. Moreover, the beast material on me needs to be sold there. Quote. Suyi looked towards the corner of the room. There stood a black tactical backpack that was as tall as a person and swelled to the extreme. That was all he had gained in the past half-month. In the first few days after entering Lingan County, every time he killed a beast, he would carefully collect materials. Then he discovered that his backpack was easily filled. Later, he changed to only charge the most valuable parts of the beasts. But even then, the backpack was full after 10 days. In the end, he could only pick the most valuable parts of the beast to collect. 2. The backpack swelled rapidly and became what it is today. Also thanks to the tactical backpack, it has excellent ductility. Otherwise, I don't know how many beast materials will be wasted by myself. That's right, there are more than 400 fierce beasts, even if only the most valuable parts are collected, it is enough for people to suffer. Suyi stood up from the ground. Crackling. With a slight movement, his body made a violent sound like fried beans. Phew, this time I raised 3 levels in one breath. The sudden increase in strength and soul power needs to be adapted as soon as possible. Quote. Su moved his body while talking to himself. According to his normal practice speed, if he wants to reach the 6th level of extraordinary, it will take half a year. But now, half a year of practice is directly compressed to 2 hours. The soaring soul power and physical fitness made him a little uncomfortable. Click, underscore. Sure enough, as soon as he took a step, a small hole was stepped on the floor. Apparently he didn't have much control over his strength. Forget it, let's not train indoors today. Only by going out to actual combat can I adapt to my current strength faster. According to the current situation, if Suyi still practiced sword and boxing indoors as in the past, I'm afraid he hasn't completed a complete set of knife skills, and the whole room will be demolished by him. Therefore, the best way is to go out and fight the beasts. Just do what you said. Suyi walked out of the room step by step cautiously. Then he rushed downstairs quickly. Although there are many less ferocious beasts in Ling'an County, they are under Suyi's deliberate search. Still found a few first-order intermediate beasts. After several battles, he also quickly adapted to his surge in soul power and physical fitness. No more embarrassing situations of stepping the floor out of potholes. It was already 11 o'clock in the evening when Suyi finished packing up the beasts and returned to the room. So he didn't do any other exercises. After simply tidying up, he lay down on the bed and fell asleep. Of course, what he entered was light sleep. Once there is any sign of trouble, he will wake up immediately. Early the next morning, Suyi packed up her things and started to leave Ling'an County with a tactical backpack on her back. Advance along the dilapidated road and rush towards the supply base. Dongjiang District, near the supply base checkpoint. It's as lively as ever here. There are revenants who carry weapons into the wilderness. There is also a team of soul warriors who walk out of the wilderness area with tactical backpacks and bright smiles full of harvest. Damn it, look at that man's backpack, it's so big. What's so special about the backpack? As for that, damn it, it's really big. Hiss, this backpack is almost as tall as him. I'm afraid it contains a whole corpse of a ferocious beast. Hee, look at the aura around him, does it look like a low-level soul warrior who will come back with a whole beast? Suddenly, the soul fighters near the checkpoint all looked towards a certain place with astonishment on their faces. There was a tall, vigorous young man. And behind him, there is an incomparably huge black backpack. This black backpack almost completely covered the tall figure of this young man. Brother, the harvest is good. The guards at the checkpoint couldn't help being surprised. Fortunately, it's just that I collected more materials. Suyi smiled, and immediately ignored the surprised eyes around her. Go straight to the supply base ahead. In the supply base of Dongjiang District. Brother hey. Li Gao was smoking and chatting with a bearded man in a corner of the supply base. Did you see that Suyi back recently? Damn, he swallowed me 2 million before. If you don't trouble him once, you won't be able to get out of this bad breath. Not yet, the Suyi you mentioned hasn't appeared in the registration information yet. The bearded man smiled casually. Gaozi, that Suyi provoked you. If you want to learn a lesson, you have to teach it outside, but it is forbidden to do it in the supply base. Quote. I understand that, I don't want to die. Li Gao laughed. The supply base has the background of the government army and major families. No matter how much hatred the soul fighters have, they dare not fight each other in the base, the consequences will be very tragic. Brother hey, when Suyi comes back, say hello to me. Li Gao raised the question again. Okay, thing. The bearded man nodded with a smile. Li Gao handed over a few more cigarettes, then said with a smile. That brother, I will leave first, and we will talk later. After speaking, Li Gao turned and left, a glint of haze flickered on his pretty good-looking face. This Suyi hasn't come back for more than 20 days. Could it be that he's planning to go back to the supply base? He has already contacted the person who taught Suyi a lesson. Now he was afraid that Suyi would leave the wilderness area, so he went straight back to school. That way, he won't be able to vent his anger. Of course, it's also possible that he died in the wilderness area. A vicious smile appeared on Li Gao's face. Suddenly his face changed, and he stared at the gate of the supply base. A tall young man standing there is Suyi. It's actually back, then you can't blame me. A cold light flashed in Li Gao's eyes, and he left the place quickly. When the real master appeared, it was time for him to arrange his own means. On the other side, after entering the supply base, Suyi quickly walked towards the front desk. Hi, may I ask which floor is the place where the beast materials are sold? Suyi asked the front desk staff. This staff member was not the one she encountered last time. But the appearance is also very good, it is a worry. Sir, if you want to sell beast materials, please go directly to the 10th floor. The staff were also taken aback by the huge backpack behind Suyi. But he quickly recovered, with a nice smile on his face, and answered. Thank you. Su Yi nodded slightly, and when he was about to leave, a middle-aged man walked up quickly and shouted. Little brother, wait a minute, you want to sell beast materials? Is there something wrong? Su Yi frowned slightly. That's right, I want to purchase your beast materials, and the purchase price is 0.5% higher than the official offer from the supply base. How about it? Let's find a place to talk in detail if we think it's okay. Quote. The middle-aged man looked at the backpack behind Su Yi with bright eyes. He could feel that Su Yi was a strong man. As for the ferocious beast materials collected by the strong, there are many good things in them. People from the black market. Su Yi raised her eyebrows. Okay. Soul fighters generally have 3 methods to sell beast materials. One is sold to supply base officials, and the other is sold to individual buyers. And the last one is the black market. For beast materials, the official purchase price is about the same as the individual purchase price. Like this, a merchant with a 0.5% premium is definitely from the black market. Little brother has good eyesight. The middle-aged man smiled and handed over a business card. The one who made the money is the vice president of the faraway Chamber of Commerce. Distant Chamber of Commerce. Su Yi was a little surprised. The Distant Chamber of Commerce is a large chamber of commerce organization in Dongjiang District. Unexpectedly, the vice president of this chamber of commerce actually got involved in the black market. Little brother, how do you want to sell this batch of materials to me? The price will definitely satisfy you. Seemingly not seeing Su Yi's surprise, Qian Feng still had a smile on his face. No, Su Yi shook his head. The black market specializes in dealing with shady things. His batch of ferocious beast materials came from an upright path. There is absolutely no need to have anything to do with the black market. Well, if you have any good things in the future, little brother, remember to contact me. Qian Feng felt a little regretful, but he didn't care too much. And Su Yi also nodded slightly, and immediately walked to the lobby elevator. Ding dong. The elevator doors opened and the 10th floor arrived. Stepping out of the elevator, there is a super large lounge. The area of a single lounge is almost 300 to 400 square meters. There is a bar sofa next to the lounge, and several people are sitting on it, resting and waiting. Next to the lounge, there are several acquisition windows. There are special staff members who are examining the beast materials brought by these soul fighters. Sir, are you going to sell beast materials? At the elevator door, a waiter asked respectfully. Su Yi nodded slightly. Please sir, follow me. Under the leadership of the staff, Su Yi took a number from a machine, and then walked to the rest area to wait for the number to be called. Boom. Su Yi took off his backpack and put it on the ground. The floor vibrated faintly when he hit it. It caused some spirit warriors around to show surprised and uncertain expressions. I can finally rest for a while. Su Yi also breathed a sigh of relief. The monster materials in the backpack are all mixed up and add up to more than 4,000 kilograms. With his current physical fitness, it is okay to carry more than 4,000 kilograms of things in a short period of time. But, it took him 4 hours to walk all the way back from the wilderness area. He carried 4,000 kilograms of weight in 4 hours, and he didn't stop for a moment. Even if he has entered the 6th level of extraordinary and his physical fitness has been greatly strengthened, he still can't bear it. Fortunately, this tactical backpack is strong, otherwise it would break down on the road, and I wouldn't even have time to cry. Su Yi moved her slightly sore back and arms. Su Yi. Suddenly, a sound of surprise sounded from the side. Turning his head to look, it was a group of people from the civet squad. The leader is none other than their team captain, Chen Wan. You just came back from the wilderness too. Chen Wan greeted with a smile and asked the team members to sit down beside them. Well, come here and sell the beast materials collected during this period. Su Yi patted the backpack next to him. 493. He still has a good impression of Chen Wan. So speaking is more casual. The harvest is good. Looking at the backpack that was 1 person tall, Chen Wan was also taken aback for a moment, and quickly realized that she congratulated her. It's okay, after staying in the wilderness area for a while, the collected materials are all exhausted. So it looks a bit bigger than the usual backpack, but in fact there are not many valuable things in it. Quote. Su Yi said with a smile. You're telling me it's a little bigger than normal. Chen Wan suddenly wanted to complain. This backpack is as big as 5 common tactical backpacks. It's bigger than the backpacks of all of their entire team combined. Please go to window number 3 on the 21st to handle business, and please go to window number 2 on the 22nd to handle business. Suddenly, Yin Bi sounded a notification tone. It's my turn. Su Yi glanced at the number in his hand. It was number 21. I'm next to you, I'm number 22. Chen Wan also raised the number in Yang's hand. Then let's go, together. On the 10th floor, there are a total of 5 windows for purchasing monster materials. Windows 2 and 3 are next to each other, right next to them. Under the leadership of Chen Wan, the civet team soon came to the number 2 window. And Su Yi came to window 3. Boom! The huge black backpack was placed next to the feet, and the weight of up to 4,000 kilograms shook the surrounding floors. What is so heavy? Chen Wan's eyes almost popped out, and the team members behind her were also slightly surprised. Look, how much these things can sell for. Su Yi said to the staff behind the front desk. Sir, beast materials need to be professionally identified before they can be purchased, please wait a moment. This is a male staff member. After speaking, he took out a precision instrument and walked out from behind the stage. Wow, the huge black backpack was pulled open, revealing some of the materials inside. Drip, the teeth of the First Order Advanced Earth-Splitting Tiger. Drip, the First Order Advanced Elite Owl Dog Tendon. Drip, the First Order Advanced Shadow Cat Claw. As soon as the staff pointed the instrument at the material, it kept beeping various prompts. The staff was dumbfounded. Why are these all First Order Advanced monster materials? And is it the best part? First, sir, may I ask that you have First Order Advanced monster materials in it? The male staff member wiped the sweat from his forehead and asked. There are also some First Order Intermediate monster materials. Seeing this, Su Yi frowned slightly. What? Is there any problem? He was already tall, but at this moment he frowned, and an aura of calm and prestige suddenly emerged. No problem. It's just that this kind of high standard and large quantity monster material requires our manager to come forward to calculate it in person. The staff said quickly. Then he took out his cell phone and dialed a number. Seeing this, Su Yi had no choice but to wait on the spot. Student Su Yi, you are amazing, there are so many advanced monster materials. Chen Wan on the side looked at the materials slightly exposed in the backpack, and subconsciously swallowed her saliva. These are piles of Chinese coins. She led the civet team into the wilderness so many times. The combined harvest may not be as valuable as the material value of the exposed First Order advanced beasts. Not to mention, there are many more other high-end materials inside. It seems that his strength is much stronger than I imagined. Chen Wanmei's eyes shone with splendor. At this moment, she had a deeper understanding of Su Yi's strength. The manager's room on the 10th floor. A middle-aged man with a round face was smiling and chatting with a group of soul warriors sitting on the opposite sofa. There are 5 soul warriors in this line. But what is surprising is that they are all young girls who look less than 20 years old. Moreover, there is a gorgeous phoenix emblem on the chest on the right side of their battle clothes. Next to a tall girl who was the leader, leaned against a thick fengtian painted halberd alloy weapon. This group of people is the 5 members of Blazing Phoenix team. The leader is their captain Song Chiran. Jingling bell. Suddenly, the phone rang. Excuse me, I have a call. The middle-aged man glanced at the caller ID, apologized, and then walked aside to answer the call. What's up? Asked the middle-aged man. Manager Wang, there is a soul fighter AJDD who sells a large amount of advanced beast materials in the lobby, and I have no authority to purchase them here. On the other end of the phone, Yinning's male staff member's voice sounded. Oh, what does that soul warrior look like, and what kind of battle suit is he wearing? Manager Wang's eyes lit up, and he asked cautiously. He looks very young, tall, with a phoenix logo on the right chest of his battle suit. He should be a student of the Demon Capital Soul Martial Arts University. Students from Hunwu University in the Devil's Capital. Okay, I understand, I'll come out right away. Since he is a student of Hunwu University in the Magic Capital, he cannot be the kind of businessman who came from the black market. Manager Wang heaved a sigh of relief, walked back to the group of soul fighters, and said to the tall slender girl with a smile. Miss Song, there is a Lone Ranger soul warrior who sells advanced beast materials in the lobby, and he is suspected to have extraordinary 9th level strength. He is also from the Soul Martial Arts University of your demon capital, or should I ask him to come in together? Anyway, it will take a while to test the beast materials here. Quote. Next to a few people, there are several staff members who are busy with testing equipment. What they tested was the beast material brought by the Blazing Phoenix team this time. Okay, Song Churan nodded slightly. Seeing this, Manager Wang walked out with brisk steps. The Lone Ranger of the 9th rank of Extraordinary. Is it Wang Gang, or Yuan Jun? But I didn't hear that they left the school recently. There was doubt in Song Churan's beautiful eyes. There are very few Lone Rangers in the Demon City Soul Warrior University, let alone the Lone Rangers of the 9th rank of Extraordinary. There are only a few people in total. Forget it, even if it's not those few people, it would be nice to meet an alumni of the 9th rank of Extraordinary. Song Churan said silently in his heart. That's why she asked Manager Wang to bring someone in. For an ordinary person, she wouldn't even look at it, and would just ask the manager to take it elsewhere. Lone Ranger, Captain, do you want to try to invite him into our team later? In the line, a shoulder-length short-haired girl urged. Xiaoying, when you left school, didn't you still say you wanted to invite that Su Yi? Why did you change your mind so quickly? A tall slender girl joked with a smile. What do you mean I've changed my mind? It's better if stronger people join our team. An angry expression appeared on the pretty face of the girl named Xiaoying, and immediately started to fight with the tall slender girl beside her. Stop it. Song Churan frowned slightly. Now that they are not in the school dormitory, their every word and deed may be peeped by others. What's more, there will be an alumnus from the 9th rank of Extraordinary coming over later. She didn't want others to see her team's appearance like this. Yes, the two women's expressions froze, and they quickly quieted down. On the other side, at the invitation of Manager Wang, Su Yi in the lobby also left the common window and walked into the manager's room. With student sus strength, there is no need to go to the common window at all. From now on, just come to my office directly. Quote, Manager Wang said with a smile, by the way, you should know all of these people. Following Manager Wang's signal, Su Yi looked at the group of people sitting on the sofa. The leader was a girl with a pretty face and a slim figure. Beside her, there were 4 young girls with their own characteristics. The same thing is that they are all wearing battle clothes with the emblem of the Demon City Soul Martial University. While Su Yi was looking at the members of the Chawang team, Song Churan was also playing against Su Yi. Not Wang Gang, nor Yuan Jun. Song Churan frowned beautifully. I don't even think I've seen this person in school. But the aura he exudes is indeed very strong, and it should be at the same level as me. What's going on? Is there a hidden strong man in the school that I haven't seen? It shouldn't be. Quote, in the Demon Capital Soul Martial Arts University, if you want to obtain resources, you must show your own strength. Basically, there will be no situation where someone hides his strength for several years and then becomes a blockbuster. Therefore, she has a general impression of the 9th order extraordinary powerhouses in the school. But this was the only one among them. Just when she was wondering, whispers from her teammates faintly came from behind her. Wow, what a handsome little brother. That's right, why didn't I find out that our school has such a handsome and strong man before? This tall figure is simply amazing. The aura exuding from his body is also very sensational. Hiss, I can't. I must suggest to the captain that he should join our team. The 4 female members of the Blazing Phoenix team are among the most beautiful women on the outside. They are naturally very picky about handsome guys, and most people will not attract their attention at all. But Su Yi is tall, with firm eyes and good looks. It really fits their aesthetic. So, I saw them looking straight at Su Yi, with a strange look faintly shining in their beautiful eyes. It's from the Blazing Phoenix team. Su Yi also recognized the Blazing Phoenix team that he met at the gate when he first arrived at the Soul Martial Arts University. Sure enough, Manager Wang immediately introduced. These are all members of the Blazing Phoenix team. This is the captain, Song Churan. Hello, senior sister Song. Su Yi nodded slightly. Sister, Song Churan frowned. Dare to feel that this is still my apprentice. Forehead. Manager Wang was a little embarrassed. How do you look? These two people don't know each other. However, he has also experienced strong winds and waves, so he quickly reacted and introduced. This classmate's name is Su Yi, and he is a freshman student at your demon capital Soul Warrior University. Su Yi. In the Blazing Phoenix team, a girl named Xiaoying screamed out, and the girls next to her also showed empathy. Unexpectedly, they were still talking about Su Yi just now, and now the real master appeared. And still in such a way. Oh, are you the special recruit who broke into the top 1000 on the local list? Song Churan was also slightly surprised, looking Su Yi up and down with her beautiful eyes. This time, she looked more carefully. If there is no second special student named Su Yi who breaks into the top 1000, it should be me. Su Yi smiled, and then said to Manager Wang at the side. Manager Wang, can you help me deal with these beast materials now? Of course, Student Su, please follow me. The manager's office is very large, because it is about 500 square meters. In addition to the main hall of the office for conversation, there are several side rooms with open doors. Under the leadership of Manager Wang, Su Yi came to one of the rooms. Here, several staff members are busy. On the ground, there are many fierce animal materials such as teeth, tendons, bones, and animal skins. Old Li, Mr. Su appraised his beast materials. Under Manager Wang's order, a middle-aged man with a strong figure stood up while squatting on the ground. His swollen muscles pushed up Black's short sleeves. Hey, this backpack is really big enough. The burly man also noticed Su Yi's extraordinary tactical backpack. Leave the backpack here, after half an hour, we will get the appraisal result and the specific value estimate. Okay, Su Yi nodded slightly, then took off the backpack. Despite his careful effort, the backpack still hit the ground with a bang. The entire floor shook slightly. Little brother, is your backpack a bit heavy? The burly man couldn't help being a little speechless, tried to pull it, and found that he couldn't pull the backpack. I still don't believe it. Giant Demon Ape. Feeling the extraordinary weight of the backpack, his whole body burst out with soul power, and a phantom of a strong giant ape emerged behind him. Then he pulled hard and dragged it with difficulty. I'm afraid it must weigh more than 4,000 kilograms. The burly man was startled, looked Su Yi up and down, and clicked his tongue. Are all young soul fighters this strong? Alas, it seems that we are really old. Quote. He sighed a bit before dragging his backpack to the side. Take out the instrument and start measuring the monster material inside. With more than 4,000 kilograms of materials, Student Su seems to have gained a lot this time. Manager Wang had a hint of surprise on his face. Su Yi's figure looks a bit tall, but it's not as exaggerated as a strong man who takes the pure strength route. Therefore, he did not expect that the strength of the other party was so great. It is not obvious at all that the backpack on his back weighs more than 4,000 kilograms. On the other side, Su Yi left. Su Yi is in the top 1,000 on the local list, and also in the first sequence. It's just right to join us. I admit that he is really handsome, and I also hope that he will join our team. However, we don't know how his actual combat ability in the wilderness area is yet. Why don't you know? Didn't you hear what Manager Wang said just now? Su Yi hunted down many first-level advanced beasts, and was evaluated as possessing an extraordinary 9th-level combat power. Isn't that enough? At this time, the two girls of the Blazing Phoenix team were having a heated discussion. But no one can convince anyone, so they can only look at the Captain Song Churan in unanimous agreement. Captain, what do you think we should do? Song Churan had a thoughtful expression on her pretty face, and after a while, she said with her red lips slightly parted. Without our own confirmation of Su Yi's strength, it is impossible for him to join. So, wait a while, Xiaoying, find a chance to ask him if he would like to go with us to the wilderness to hunt and kill ferocious beasts. If he was really that strong, he would be able to tell by killing a wild beast casually. Quote. Clear. Xiaoying, a girl with shoulder-length short hair, nodded quickly. After handing over the beast material to a specialized appraiser, Su Yi also returned to the main hall of the office where the Blazing Phoenix team was located under the leadership of Manager Wang. Student Su Yi, Hello, I'm Chen Weiying from the Blazing Phoenix team, and I'm also a student who is about to enter the third year of the Magic City Soul Warrior University. As soon as he sat down, a young girl with short shoulder-length hair appeared in front of him. Senior Chen, what's the matter? Su Yi said casually. May I take the liberty to ask, are you planning to go back to school next? Chen Weiying asked with a smile. No, I'm going into the wilderness tomorrow. Su Yi shook his head. It's not good to stay in the wilderness area for too long, so he is going to sell out the materials. Stay here for one night and go in the next day. That's right. Chen Weiying's eyes lit up. Then do you want to come with us? Our team is full of pretty girls. She has no fear at all, because the way of the sky is square. Behind her, Song Churan, who heard these words, was suddenly a little annoyed. I asked you to invite others, did you invite like this? Oh, Su Yi was taken aback, and turned his head slightly to look back. Seeing that the captain Song Churan didn't object, he knew that this should be the meaning of their team as a whole. Even so, Su Yi refused without hesitation. Sorry, I still prefer to be alone. Just kidding, how comfortable a person is. How could he be with the Blazing Phoenix team? Quote question mark question mark question mark question mark quote. 4 huge question marks appeared on Chen Weiying's head. Under her beauty offensive, some boys actually rejected her invitation. It's a bit interesting to actually refuse. Song Churan, who was sitting on the sofa, was taken aback for a moment, and then a smile appeared on her pretty face. Standing up, she walked in front of Su Yi with slender legs. Student Su, don't you want to see the real combat power of me, who is also in the top 1000 in the local list? Her voice is beautiful, just like the sounds of nature. The real fighting power of the top 1000 in the ranking. Su Yi frowned slightly. To be honest, whether it is the top 1000 in the local list, or other geniuses of the same age, he had never seen the opponent's full-strength shot. This point is the same for Zhu Jinyu, and Ling Shuang and others who often compete with him. After all, sparring is not a real fight to the death. That being the case, Su Yi was really moved by Song Churan's proposal. So he asked, Senior Song, what is your goal of entering the wilderness area in the future? Onder County. Although he didn't know why Su Yi asked such a question, Song Churan still responded. Andy County. Okay, Senior Sister Song, then I will set off with you tomorrow. But halfway I should go first. Quote. Su Yi nodded and said. His next target is Chongchuan County in the middle of the Dongjiang Wilderness area. It happens to be on the way with Andy County, so it's okay to walk together for a while. Just use this time to see Song Churan's strength. Song Churan nodded slightly. The most important thing for her is to determine Su Yi's strength. As long as she can make a move, it's okay to leave halfway. Okay, let me introduce you to the members of our Blazing Phoenix team. After confirming the next itinerary, Yin Churan also had a smile on his face. With her introduction, Su Yi quickly knew the names of the remaining 3 girls. The tall girl with neat bangs was named Zhao Ling. The remaining 2 girls are a pair of twins named Li Qingwan and Li Qingyu respectively. The 2 girls look very similar. But the way to distinguish is also very simple. The one with single ponytail is Li Qingwan, and the one with double ponytail is Ji Qingyu. After some introductions, everyone got to know each other. Next, with Manager Wang, a manager with high emotional intelligence, the atmosphere of the conversation was pretty good. Especially the lively girl Chen Weiying, who laughed like silver bells from time to time. Manager, the test results of the 2 batches of beast materials have come out, and their respective valuations have been given. Half an hour later, the burly man Su Yi saw earlier came over and said respectfully. 0. Oh, then tell me, what kind of monster materials do Song's Chuang team and this student Su have, and what is the estimated value? Manager Wang said with a smile. The Blazing Phoenix team collected a total of 6 first-level advanced beast materials. There are 22 first-level intermediate monster materials, and 56 first-level low-level monster materials, estimated at 5.46 million Wazong coins. The burly man took out the list and read. Miss Song, 5.46 million, what do you think of this price? Manager Wang looked at the Blazing Phoenix team. Well, that's the price. Song Churan nodded slightly. Their fierce beast materials were counted by themselves. About this price. Okay, Lao Li, how much material do you have for Mr. Sus Beast? Manager Wang continued to ask. Song Charan and the rest of the girls on the side also showed curiosity when they heard the words. They also saw with their own eyes the huge backpack Su Yi brought in just now. They were also a little curious as to what kind of monster materials were contained in it. Mr. Su has a lot of beast materials. The burly man has a strange expression on his face. In his backpack, there are a total of 20 first-order advanced beast materials. There are 62 first-level intermediate monster materials, and 223 first-level lower-level monster materials, with a total value of about 17.21 million Washa coins. Quote. He sort of understood why Su Yi's backpack was so heavy. There are more than 300 different beasts with teeth, hides, tendons, and some hard bones. It is only over 4,000 kilograms, which is considered light. 17215. Chen Weiying let out an exclamation, and the team leader Song Charan and several girls also showed surprise on their faces. They never expected that their entire team could not compare to Su Yi, a lone ranger, in terms of spoils. It's getting more and more interesting. A brilliant light flashed in Song Charan's beautiful eyes. All of these were killed by Su Yi alone. Then Su Yi's strength is probably stronger than what I imagined. 17.21 million Washa coins. Su Yi was slightly surprised. According to the official price, the price of the first-order advanced beast material is about 150,000, and the first-order intermediate beast material is about 80,000 Washa coins. The first-tier low-level beasts are the cheapest, only about 40,000 Washa coins. According to his estimation, it would be enough to sell 10 million of the beast materials in the backpack. Unexpectedly, the real price was so much higher than his own estimate. Simply pleasantly surprised. 17.21 million Washa coins. Even Manager Wang, who often buys beast materials, was slightly surprised. One must know that even for a soul warrior of the Disha rank, if he goes to the wilderness area, he can only earn this amount. Mr. Su, what do you think of the price? After being surprised, Manager Wang quickly asked. Okay, let's sell it at this price. Su Yi nodded slightly. It is said that the official supply base will not deceive people, and it seems to be true. If you are a person in the black market, if you don't understand the market, it is very likely that you will be scammed. After confirming the quality and valuation of the two batches of beast materials, Manager Wang didn't hesitate. He directly called Song Charan 5.46 million, and then called Su Yi 1.72 million. It's better for you soul fighters, you can earn so much money just by going out, it makes my old king want to go to the wilderness area. It's a pity, with my D-level martial spirit and the strength of my 4th level extraordinary, I'm afraid I can't even defeat a 1st level primary beast. Quote. After the transfer was completed, Manager Wang said with emotion. Although he transferred out almost 22 million in one breath just now. But that's all the base's money, and he himself is just a common office worker with a salary. Manager Wang was joking, and with Su Yi's batch of materials, you can earn at least 7 figures this time. The knowledgeable Song Charan smiled slightly. People who can get to the manager level, of course, can't just receive dead wages. This time there were more than 20 million beast materials, and the other party's commission was at least more than 1 million. Not that much. Manager Wang shook his head, then glanced at the time. It's already noon, why don't we all have dinner together later? 303, can do it, just ask classmate Su Yi. Song Charan, who carried Fang Tian's painted halberd back on his back, said indifferently. Mr. Su, what do you think? Manager Wang turned to look at Su Yi. In fact, his main friend is also Su Yi. After all, he and the members of the Blazing Phoenix team have known each other for a long time. Su Yi nodded slightly. After selling the beast materials, he is fine now, making some friends is also a good choice. That's fine, you go to the lobby and wait for me first, and I'll make arrangements for work, and I'll be here right away. Manager Wang said with a smile. Whether it's the Blazing Phoenix team or Su Yi, they are all geniuses from the Seoul Martial Arts University in the capital city. Especially Su Yi, who is only a freshman, already has the strength close to the 9th rank of extraordinary. Such a character, even he must be treated with care. Damn it, Look over there, there's actually a man and 5 women walking together, that's awesome. Hey, these 5 girls are all beautiful. Just give me one, and I'll be satisfied. Hehe, everyone else is a genius from the Soul Warrior University in the capital city. You are a 6th-year-old man who is about to graduate from Jatting Soul Warrior University. Don't think too much. Su Yi and Team Blazing Phoenix, the combination of 1 man and 5 women is very eye-catching. As soon as I walked to the lobby on the 10th floor, there were many people talking in low voices. But after seeing the phoenix emblem on the chests of Su Yi and the others, they all had expressions of fear on their faces. The students of the Demon City Soul Warrior University are not something ordinary people can afford. Let's find a sofa to sit on for a while, Song Churan suggested. Su Yi nodded slightly. Su Yi. At this time, someone from the side spoke. Su Yi turned her head and saw 2 people walking by. On the left is a young man with good looks and fair skin. On the chest of his battle suit, there is also a sword emblem. On the right is a middle-aged man with a beard. The young people stood slightly behind, apparently led by middle-aged men. Li Gao. Su Yi recognized the young man next to him. He was Li Gao who tried to cheat half a month ago. Hehe, it seems that you still know me. Li Gao sneered, and then said viciously to the middle-aged man next to him. Manager Pang, he is the one who stole 2 million Huasha coins from me. Pang Qingyang, the manager of the service department on the 1st floor. He was able to lie to newcomers safely down there, thanks to his care. Of course, he will also make a lot of confession for the proceeds of deception. Otherwise, he wouldn't only save 2 million in half a year. You are Su Yi. Pang Qingyang was quite disdainful. I came to see you with Xiaogao, but I only have one word of advice. You'd better hand over Xiaoyang's 2 acres. So what if I don't hand it over? Su Yi looked at the middle-aged man. In his perception, this person has at best an extraordinary level 3 strength. Being able to sit in the position of manager should rely on management methods. Oh, Pang Qingyang frowned. Very well, I think you should also be a person who knows the rules. There are rules everywhere in this world. All you need to do is to follow the rules, and if you violate the rules, do something you can't do. The consequences are not something you can bear. Do you understand what I mean? There was a leisurely smile on his slightly fat face. Isn't that Manager Pang on the 1st floor? How did he come here? It seems that the man from the Demon City Soul Martial Arts University provoked him. I know, that man beat up Li Gao some time ago. Behind Li Gao is Manager Pang. This time it should be Li Gao who came back to find a place. Quote. In the hall, there are many soul warriors waiting to be called. Moreover, Su Yi and Song Churan's group were already extremely eye-catching. The arrival of Manager Pang immediately attracted more soul fighters to look at this side. On the sofa, in the civet team that hadn't left yet, Chen Wan also looked at Su Yi with a worried face. She knew that Li Gao would not give up so easily. On the contrary, Song Churan and the remaining girls of the Chawang team didn't care much, and didn't even give Pang Qingyang 3 straight eyes. Rule. Su Yi frowned upon hearing this. The forces behind the supply base are intricate. Even if it is a manager, there may be a family standing behind it. Like this kind of family, the means are absolutely unimaginable. Su Yi, you should know that people in this world are different. Although it is said that everyone is equal, people are not equal after all. Some people can only abide by the law and abide by various regulations, and that's it, and disaster will come from heaven. Some people can find a lot of beautiful women, violate laws and regulations, beat people, or even kill people, it's all right. There are still people who can destroy a family with one sentence. One sentence can determine a person's future. Even soul fighters have to obey their orders. Quote. And your status as a student of the Demon Capital Soul Warrior University, which you regard as a treasure, is not worth mentioning in the eyes of these people. Pang Qingyang looked at Su Yi. You should know what kind of person I am, and what kind of person you are. Because you are young, you don't know that there is me behind Xiao Gao. Return the 2 million and pay another 2 million in compensation, and let's forget about it. After finishing speaking, Pang Qingyang made no secret of his arrogance in his bones. Oh, Su Yi narrowed his eyes, walked slowly to Pang Qingyang, and said slowly. I don't know what kind of person you are. But I know that in front of me, you are nothing but an ant. And an ant, why teach me how to do things? The ferocious phantom of Deathwing emerged from behind him, and Su Yi's thick soul power belonging to the 6th level of extraordinary burst out suddenly. There is a faint golden red in the eyes. And his martial soul passive talent, Long Way, is also fully released. Boom! Everyone in the hall felt an invisible force sweeping over them. Immediately, there was a feeling of breaking into the territory of the top beast. Goosebumps all over my body, and I felt an inexplicable sense of panic in my heart, wanting to leave here quickly. Such negative feelings, only a few people in the hall can be exempted. However, they all looked at Su Yi with solemn expressions, including Song Churan and his party from the Blazing Phoenix team. VR. As the main target of this coercion, Peng Qingyang only felt stiff all over, and even had some difficulty breathing. Mr. Su, what are you doing? At this time, when he walked out of the office, Manager Wang, who found something wrong here, walked over quickly. It's nothing, it's just that an ant wants to threaten me. Su Yi said lightly, but the soul power in his body has not been restrained. Threaten. Manager Wang looked at Peng Qingyang, who was struggling to breathe, and instantly understood what was going on. Can't help but said angrily. Peng Qingyang, don't you King think you've lived too long and dare to threaten my best friend? Expensive, excellent guest, Peng Qingyang spoke with difficulty. Between managers and managers, there is also a status gap of 0. He is a manager who serves on the 1st floor, and the other manager who serves on the 10th floor is not at the same level. Even if you make the other party unhappy, the family behind you will also suffer. And he actually provoked Manager Wang's distinguished guest. At this moment, he wished he could kill Li Gao right now. If it wasn't for the fact that Li Gao said that the Su Yi he was going to deal with was just a common demon capital soul martial arts student with extraordinary level 7 strength, it would be impossible for him to make a move. Misunderstanding, this is all a misunderstanding. After Peng Qingyang finished speaking, his face was covered with sweat as if he had exhausted all his strength. Mr. Su, let him go, he is only the 3rd order extraordinary of common. If this continues, he will really die. Quote, although Manager Wang also disliked Peng Qingyang very much, he was the manager of the Dongjiang supply base after all. It's not easy for him to die on the floor he manages. Well, I'll give Manager Wang this face. Su Yi restrained his entire body, and the ferocious Deathwing also dissipated out of thin air. Many. Thank you, Mr. Su, for your kind hand. Peng Qingyang was about to thank you when he heard Su Yi's devilish whisper. But he threatened my family just now, just this one, let him lie down for a month, is that okay? The next moment, Peng Qingyang only felt a huge force coming from his abdomen and he lost consciousness. Of course it's fine. Looking at Peng Qingyang who was punched 6 meters away, lying on the ground, and passed out, Manager Wang twitched his mouth. They are already lying on the ground, even if he doesn't agree, what's the use? Thank you, Manager Wang, for your understanding. Su Yi smiled slightly, and walked slowly to Li Dang. Looking at his face that quickly turned pale from fear, he said slowly. And you, Li Gao. The last time I let you go, I just wanted to improve your memory. Unexpectedly, not only did you not improving memory, and dare to trouble me again. This time, let you lie down for a month too. Remember, don't let me see you again in the base. Quote. Boom. As soon as the words fell, Li Gao flew across the sky more than 10 meters away with a whip of Su Yi. After knocking down several decorations in the hall, he suddenly stopped and lay down on the ground, not knowing whether he was alive or dead. Hiss, so ruthless, too violent, but I like it. This little brother looks kind on the surface, but he is absolutely unambiguous in his actions. He is a big shot. In the hall, many people exclaimed. Such a swift and resolute method is rare even among soul warriors. Good. Song Churan also nodded slightly, admiring Su Yi's move. Soul fighters should be like this, act decisively and strike fiercely. Wang Jing 5.7, let's go. Su Yi said lightly. Let's go to the Dongjiang restaurant next to it, the dishes there are the best in our Dongjiang district. Manager Wang didn't even look at the two of them, and greeted them with a smile. These two people will naturally be taken care of after he leaves, so there is no need for him to come forward in person. And Song Shaolin and her team from the Blazing Phoenix team were also the same, with an indifferent look on their faces, and never looked directly at these two people from the beginning to the end. After all, Su Yi, as the first sequence, already has the backing of the Demon City Soul martial arts behind him. Not to mention that he also has Zhang Daoyuan, the vice principal teacher named Hoji. With such a huge background, even if the entire Dongjiang supply base is demolished, those family forces dare not say anything. Is this the genius of the Demon City Soul Martial Arts University? This power, this aura, is too powerful. After Su Yi and his group left, Chen Wanchao's face in the hall turned red with excitement. Although she is stronger than Li Gao, she can't understand Li Gao's actions. And the reason why she didn't stop it was because of Pang Qingyang standing behind him. The manager Pang Qingyang, whom she regarded as a scourge, stood behind him with a huge family. And such a person, in the eyes of people like Su Yi, doesn't even have the qualifications to attract attention. At this moment, Chen's awe of the Demon City Soul Warrior University deepened. As for Su Yi's toughness and decisiveness, he also has a further understanding. Such people can only be friends, not enemies. After lunch with Manager Wang and the Kai Huang team, it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Manager Wang returned to the base building, while the Blazing Phoenix team prepared to wash up before going to the district center for shopping. And Su Yi had nothing to do, so she decided to go shopping with her. He first opened a room in the Dongjiang supply base. Throw your sword, equipment, and tactical backpack into it. After a comfortable shower, I changed into casual clothes. Then they walked to the square outside the base, quietly waiting for the members of the Blazing Phoenix team to come out. Walk around, this time the harvest is good, after selling the materials, let's go drink. Hey, this time was too unlucky. I met a first-order advanced beast and almost wiped out the whole army. Brother, although your right arm was bitten off by Ao Quan, but brother, I guarantee that I will give you enough compensation. The wilderness area. This is the first time I have entered the wilderness area. On the square in front of the supply base, people came and went. There is a team that has gained a lot and walked out of the wilderness area with a smile on their faces. There was a seriously injured team clutching their wounds with bandages, and the atmosphere was dignified. There are also novice soul warriors who are nervous and excited, entering the wilderness area for the first time. And in the sky above the square. The sky is clear, the breeze is gentle, everything is peaceful and quiet. Desolate city ruins, brutal and bloodthirsty beasts. At this moment, it seems that they don't exist in this world. It's the spirit fighters who fought against the beasts one after another, that we can live in such a beautiful world now. Seeing this scene, Su Yi was a little emotional. Soul fighters, why are they a privileged class? It is because the soul fighters are constantly entering the wilderness area, fighting to the death with the beasts, trying to kill the beasts. Without them, the beasts would have already ruled the entire blue star. The whole world will become as desolate, bloody, and violent as a wilderness area. Feeling deeply moved, Su Yi randomly found a seat beside the square and sat down. Enjoy this quiet life without worrying about the attack of fierce beasts, without the roar of fierce beasts. It would be nice if it could continue like this. Su Yi couldn't help muttering. In fact, in essence, he is not a person who likes to pursue strength, he prefers a quiet and peaceful life. But in this world, without strength, there is nothing. Although the large-scale war between humans and beasts has stopped for nearly 200 years. But no one knows when the next large-scale war with the beast will start. He didn't expect that when fierce beasts invaded on a large scale, he would lose his relatives and friends because of his lack of strength. As long as you have enough strength, you can protect everything I want to protect everything I want to protect. Su Yi's eyes flashed with determination. One day, I will kill all the beasts, and then live in peace and quiet. Although fierce beasts are strong, they are not impossible to kill. With his current promotion speed, in just 2 months, he has already entered the 6th rank of extraordinary. I believe it will not take long to grow into an apex powerhouse who can destroy fierce beasts. Wait, I will definitely destroy you. Su Yi clenched his fists tightly, and a cold killing intent flashed in his eyes. In a county town, killing hundreds of ferocious beasts in one go seems to be a fruitful battle. But there are thousands of small counties like this in the wilderness area. Destroying one is not worth mentioning at all. Even the hundreds of ferocious beasts that were killed will soon reproduce again. Therefore, what he has to do is to increase his strength as soon as possible, and then have the ability to destroy all the beasts in one go. This is his ambition and the ultimate goal he pursues. Only by accomplishing this goal can he settle down and live the leisurely life he wants. The time needed for girls to wash and tidy up is often much longer than boys. Su Yi waited in the square for more than half an hour before the Blazing Phoenix team walked out of the base. The leader is Captain Song Charan. I saw that she was wearing a gray short sleeve with a slight tightening effect. Her waist curve was perfectly highlighted, without any fat. She was wearing a pair of light blue jeans. The upturned buttocks and round and tight thighs are perfectly wrapped by jeans. Cooperating with her delicate melon-seated face with a frigid style, a different kind of temptation came to the surface. Behind Song Charan, Chen Weiying was wearing a black short sleeve and a pair of hot pants. Her slender legs are clearly revealed. Next to Chen Weiying is the tall Zhao Ling. Her outfit is similar to that of Chen Weiying, except that she has replaced shorts with long trousers. Behind the two girls are the twins Li Qingwan and Li Qingyu, who are wearing the same style of floral dresses. It's just that one is light cyan and the other is light blue. Hey, Brother Su, this outfit is not bad. The lively Chen Weiying greeted everyone with a smile. Su Yi took off his combat uniform and changed into casual clothes. Although the fierce aura on his body has dissipated a lot. But the overall look has a different kind of atmosphere. It's like the sunshine from the rising sun, which makes people feel warm and comfortable. Yes, this outfit suits Su Yi very well. The twins Li Qingwan and Li Qingyu also spoke at the same time, their eyes sparkling with splendor. Su Yi smiled, then looked at Song Charan, who was the leader. Sister Song, shall we take a taxi to the district center next? Why take a taxi? Song Charan had doubts on her pretty face. Why don't you just drive your own car? Su Yi was taken aback. Are you all driving to resupply the base? Of course. Chen Weiying at the side smiled and took out a bunch of keys. From the city center on the other side of the school, it takes more than 3 hours to take the train, and it is very troublesome to go through the security check with the equipment on your body. And by car, it only takes 2 hours to get here, and it is so convenient without worrying about safety issues. Quote, it makes sense, so should I buy a car in the future? Su Yi rubbed his chin, thinking. Indeed, when he took the train from the Magic City before, although he had a Soul Warrior certificate. But at the security check, it took a lot of effort. If you have a car of your own, it will be much more convenient. Forget it, let's take a look when we go back. As for the car, Su Yi doesn't have any requirements, as long as it can drive and the speed is fast. Okay, Su Yi, you just need to take our car. Xiaoying, Xiaoling, you two go to drive, we will wait for you here. Song Charan said. Okay. Chen Weiying and Zhao Ling nodded, and immediately took the keys to the parking lot. Let's go, let's wait for them outside the square. Under the leadership of Song Charan, Su Yi and his party walked out of the square. Outside this square, there is a wide road. All soul fighters can only go here by means of transportation. Then walk into the square. At this time, many soul fighters are entering the square from here. Boom, boom. After a while, with the low roar of the engine, I saw the latest Mercedes-Benz S100 full of aristocratic temperament coming here. And behind this car, followed by a Mercedes X200 sports car with a black body and a streamlined body. FK, it's the latest Mercedes-Benz S100. I remember this model has the ability to fly for a short time. Hey, the Mercedes X200 behind this car is not bad either. It costs at least 6 million to buy one. Tisk tisk, a sports car with a beauty is really pleasing to the eye. The two sports cars were parked by the side of the road, immediately attracting the attention of many soul warriors around. Sister Song, your car is really not simple. Su Yi couldn't help but exclaim. Even he, who usually doesn't pay much attention to vehicles, knows that these two sports cars are not simple. Added up, the value is probably around 15 million. Hee, this is the commuter car that the captain bought specially for our team. Li Qingwan, who was wearing a single ponytail, smiled lightly. Commuter, Su Yi looked strange. It seems that Song Chiran's background is not simple. Otherwise, it would be impossible to buy such an expensive vehicle for the team. Captain, Su Yi, come here. On the red sports car, Chen Weiying shouted. Let's go. Song Chiran nodded slightly, and walked over there with Su Yi, Li Qingwan, and Li Qingyu. When I got in the car, it caused another wave of attention. There is no way, the combination of handsome men and beautiful women is always so eye-catching. Although the center of Dongjiang district is not as prosperous as the center of the Magic City. But it was also very lively. Su Yi originally planned to wander casually with the Blazing Phoenix team. I didn't expect them to be very keen on various shopping malls. Thinking that there was nothing to do anyway, Su Yi followed along. Unexpectedly, they bought so many things that I even had to help them carry them later. It wasn't until 7 o'clock in the evening that the team of the Blazing Phoenix team reluctantly left the shopping mall. Then find a place to have dinner. By the time we returned to the supply base, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. Sorry, I made you suffer together today. On the 23rd floor of the supply base, in the corridor, Song Chiran said while taking a lot of handbags from Su Yi. It's okay, I have nothing to do anyway, it's good to go shopping with you. Su Yi smiled. Killing for a long time will affect a person's character unconsciously. Make it brutal and bloodthirsty. Like this, walking around shopping malls and eating like a common person will also help alleviate the tyrannical killing intent on him. That's good. A smile appeared on Song Chiran's pretty face, and then he blinked his big clear eyes and said. Then at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will gather in the lobby downstairs and set off to the wilderness area together. Don't oversleep then, Junior Su. Chen Weiying behind Song Chiran said with a smile. Do you think other people are like you? You can sleep until 10 at 9 o'clock. Zhao Ling on the side immediately retorted. Ling Ling, if you continue to tease me in front of others, I'll go back and have nothing to do with you. Hee, can this be considered a shortcoming? I'm just telling the truth. Ah, damn it, Ling Ling, I'm going to deal with you now. The two girls soon started fighting. Song Chiran, who was the leader, couldn't help but help his forehead when he saw this. Sorry, I made you laugh. It's nothing, it's so lively, it's good. Su Yi smiled. If it weren't for the existence of the system, he might join a team before entering the wilderness area. That way, you don't have to do everything alone. Then see you tomorrow, Su Yi, I am really looking forward to your performance tomorrow. With an inexplicable smile on his face, Song Chiran waved his hands, and immediately left here with the Chawang team. Seeing this, Su Yi also turned around and left. The 23rd floor of this supply base is a hotel. The rooms of Song Chiran and the Chawang team are at 2311, while his room is at 2358. Exactly at both ends of the corridor, in opposite directions. Back in her room, Su Yi threw several handbags on the bed. It was the clothes that Chen Weiying helped choose in the afternoon. In her words, with such a handsome guy around, it would be a pity not to help with dressing up. Hey, let's start training. Su Yi took off her upper body clothes, revealing her muscular and well-proportioned muscles. Immediately, he walked to the side and took out his blood shadow saber from the backpack. Let's start with 10,000 sword swings. 11. Who. Soon, there was a heavy cracking sound in the room. If you want to become a strong person, you must have a will of steel and persistent training habits. Therefore, even if there is a system, Su Yi dare not relax the requirements on himself. 10,000 times of swinging knives and punching, as well as training of soul power and anode immortality. Even in the wilderness full of dangers, he never lost a day. It is precisely because of this that his combat power can be improved so quickly. Red Dragon Fist, Running Thunder Hand, Spirit Sparrow Step. In the spacious hotel room, Su Yi's whole body was covered by Jin Red's soul power, and he crazily used soul skills one after another. With the release of the soul ability, the solid muscles on his naked upper body slightly swelled and bulged slightly. Finally, after 15 profound level soul skills, the golden red soul power on his body became extremely dim. Even the phantom of Deathwing behind him was a little dim. Finally, all the soul power has been consumed. Now let's start practicing the soul energy guidance method immediately. Su Yi let out a long breath, immediately sat cross-legged on the ground, and began to practice the Sun Soul Energy Guidance Method. This is a special exercise method. Using soul skills to completely consume one's own soul power can not only exercise the proficiency of one's soul skills, and when practicing the Soul Energy Guidance Method, the efficiency will be even higher. Roo, roo. In the room, it sounded like a breeze blowing. That's what the soul energy gathers around Suyi, and then transforms into soul power. An hour later, Suyi stopped practicing the soul guiding method when he felt that all the cells in his body were slightly swollen and painful. The soul power has increased slightly, almost negligible. Suyi felt the level of soul power in his body, and muttered to himself. The 6th level of extraordinary is already counted as an extraordinary high-level soul warrior. At this level, it is extremely difficult to get to the 1st level only by self-cultivation. This point is the same even for him who has an SSS level martial soul and practices the advanced soul energy channeling method. According to his estimation, if there is no external assistance, if you want to advance to the 7th level of extraordinary, I'm afraid it will take 2 or 3 months. Jingle bell operator operator operator. Suddenly, the phone rang. Looking at the caller ID, it was Zhu Jinyu calling. What is she calling at this time? Suyi clicked through with doubts. Suyi, are you out of the wilderness area? On the other end of the phone, Zhu Jinming's voice from Jingfu came. Suyi nodded slightly. It came out at noon today, and I will go in tomorrow. In wilderness areas, common mobile phones cannot communicate because there are no signal towers. Only when you walk out of the wilderness area can you communicate. Are you going to go in again tomorrow? I thought you were going back to school soon. On the other end of the phone, Zhu Jinyu's voice was slightly lost, and after a pause, her melodious voice sounded again. Suyi, can you make a video? I want to see you. What followed was an invitation to a video chat. Good. Suyi smiled, reached out and clicked the connect button next to it. With a soft sound, a pale blue virtual screen was projected in midair. On the screen, it was Zhu Jinyu, a girl with glasses. She was wearing a tight battle suit, sitting on the ground of the training room with a blushing face. Same as before, she is still wearing the Spirit Fox series battle suit. Under the tight outline of this battle suit, her hot figure with bumps and convexities is undoubtedly revealed. Matched with her charming face with a touch of rosy, it is very charming. Why, you won't see me for half a month, you will blush when you see me. Suyi joked with a smile. Suyi, you have no shirt on. In the video, Zhu Jinyu looked at Suyi's naked and muscular upper body, feeling a little shy. In the previous sparring, she could easily tell that Suyi's figure was of a relatively robust type. Slightly raised pectoral muscles, well-proportioned 8-pack abs, and that faint mermaid line. Looking at it now, Suyi's figure is actually better than I imagined. Simply great. Thinking of this, Zhu Jinyu's pretty face became more and more charming. Sorry, I was training just now. Suyi also reacted at this time, and quickly grabbed the short sleeves on the side and put them on. Seeing Suyi put on clothes, Zhu Jinyu felt a little regretful, and then asked with a smile on his face. Master Su, how about the wilderness area? Are the thorns exciting? It's okay, it's just that the roar of fierce beasts surrounds your ears all the time, so you have to be careful when you sleep at night. Oh, it's so interesting. Tell me quickly, what have you been doing for the past half-month? Just like that, Zhu Jinyu asked. Suyi answered. The two had a video chat for almost 2 hours. It wasn't until 1 o'clock in the morning that Zhu Jinyu on the other end of the phone said, Suyi, it's getting late, let's stop here today. When you go out of the wilderness area next time, remember to call me first. Quote. On the video screen, Zhu Jinyu waved his hand and hung up the phone reluctantly. It's already here. Suyi, who glanced at the time, also realized at this time. Chatting with Zhu Jinyu will make him feel relaxed. So I didn't realize that so much time had passed. Next, Suyi quickly took off her clothes, took a shower, and fell asleep. Although soul fighters can go several days without sleep without feeling tired. But this is the only night where you don't have to be wary of the beast attack. He naturally wants to take the time to rest. After a while, he fell into a deep sleep and his breathing became steady. The next morning, Su Yi woke up from the bed, only feeling refreshed. The whole person's condition was better than ever. He glanced at the time, it was already 8 o'clock in the morning. He slept for 7 hours. And it's all deep sleep. This made him accumulate more than 20 days of exhaustion in the wilderness area, all of which were wiped away. After waking up, Su Yi quickly washed up, and then put on his battle clothes. Put on your tactical backpack, put on your saber, and go downstairs. When it was almost 9 o'clock, he successfully joined the team of the Blazing Phoenix team. Then they entered the wilderness area together. Roar, ah! In the front and middle of the Dongjiang wilderness area, in the fields on both sides of the dilapidated highway, and in the dilapidated villages, there were bursts of roars of ferocious beasts. And on the highway, there was a group of 6 people walking, among them were 5 slim girls who seemed to be in their 20s. There was also a tall young man with firm eyes. The sword he held in his hand reflected a cold light under the sunlight at noon. It's already 12 o'clock. Su Yi glanced at the time on his watch. They entered the wilderness area at 9 o'clock in the morning. Along the way, apart from Song Churan, the Chuang team has already made a move. The 4 seniors, Chen Weiying, Zhao Ling, Li Qingwan and Li Qingyu, are all pretty good. It is considered an upper middle level in the Demon City Soul Warrior University. But in his opinion, that's all. After all, his current vision is too high. There are still 2 hours left, and the Blazing Phoenix team and I will not be on our way. At that time, no matter whether I have seen Song Churan's real combat power or not, I have to leave. Quote. Su Yi said silently in his heart. Along the way, all they met were low-level ferocious beasts. Song Churan could not be seen making a move at all. That's right, the ferocious beasts at the beginning of the first stage and the intermediate couldn't make Song Churan show his true strength at all. Roar. Just then, a loud roar sounded. This power is a first-order advanced beast. Su Yi's eyes lit up. Meanwhile, Song Churan's beautiful eyes also brightened. Let's go, student Su Yi. A group of people walked forward quickly, and soon in a dilapidated village next to the road, they found a dog with 3 tails behind it, and a slightly protruding owl dog. It is huge in size, with a height of 2 meters and a width of 4 meters. Stand there like an armored car. Roar. This owl dog also spotted Song Churan and his party, let out a low growl, and rushed over with a roar. Rumble. It directly ignored the dilapidated houses along the way, rushed over quickly, and after many walls were hit, they collapsed with a bang. Su Yi, I'm going to deal with this fierce beast now, watch out. Akabane Phoenix. Song Churan let out a coquettish shout, and the soul power of Kai Red burst out suddenly, and a gorgeous Kai Red Phoenix came out from behind her. S-rank martial spirit, Red Feather Phoenix. Su Yi fixed her gaze and observed carefully. This was the first time he had seen other S-rank myriad beast martial spirits besides his teacher's S-rank meteor dragon. Backquote, there are flames lingering all over his body, so he should also have the martial soul talent of fire element affinity. I just don't know if it is intermediate fire affinity or advanced fire affinity. Quote. Apart from analyzing that Song Churan's S-rank martial soul Chiu Phoenix possesses the fire element affinity talent, Su Yi didn't see anything else. After all, only the awakened person knows the talent of the martial soul best. Forget it, there is too little information, and we can't analyze any results. Let's see how she handles the first-order advanced elite owl dog first. Quote. After Song Churan's soul power erupted, he rushed forward holding Fang Tian's painting halberd. Her slender figure dragged a thick Fang Tian painted halberd, but she seemed inexplicably harmonious. Halberd technique red flame gravity slash. Song Churan's soul power was lingering all over his body. He jumped and flew up to a height of 5 meters, and then it was Fang Tian's turn to slam down the halberd. Boom. When it was still in the air, the thick Fang Tian painted halberd was surrounded by a dazzling red flame. What a powerful force. Su Yi raised his eyebrows. With this power, the ranking in the local ranking shouldn't be so low. On the way here, he already knew that Song Churan was ranked 434th. There are some veteran extraordinary 8th level spirit warriors, and the strength shown by Song Churan's attack has completely surpassed this level. However, what he didn't know was, the ranking of 434th place was achieved by Song Churan when he was in the 8th rank of extraordinary. Now, she has entered the 9th rank of extraordinary, and her real ranking should be around 100. It is normal for a soul skill to have such power. Roar. Ao Quan, a first-level advanced elite, whose strength is equivalent to that of a 9th-level common extraordinary soul warrior, is naturally not so easy to deal with. I saw it exerting force under its feet, avoiding this terrifying blow with a dodge. Li Haojiao, boom. Fang Tian's painted halberd hit the ground hard, creating a deep hole. Die to me. Halberd technique, continuous thrusting. As soon as Song Churan pulled out the painting halberd, she pulled it out of the deep pit. Immediately, Fang Tian drew the halberd and dragged the afterimage, stabbing at Ao Quan at a terrifying speed. Roar. This time, Ao Quan couldn't dodge in time, and was stabbed fiercely in the left arm by Fang Tian's painting halberd. Suddenly, a bull-sized wound appeared there. The severe pain made it let out a howl. Immediately after taking a look at Song Churan, he turned around and was about to run away. If you want to escape, there is no way. Song Churan's eyes were fixed, and he grabbed Fang Tian's painting halberd and entangled him again. Stabbing, chopping, hooking, teasing. Under the proficient skill of using the war halberd, coupled with the soul skills she used from time to time. In less than 3 minutes, this Ao dog with the strength of the 9th level of extraordinary fell into a pool of blood. As expected of a veteran genius, this technique, this method of exerting force is much better than me. Su Yi, who saw the whole battle process in his eyes, couldn't help but marvel at luck slightly. After all, Song Churan often went to and from the wilderness area, and compared to her, her fighting skills were much more proficient. The choice of attack timing is also very good. How is it? Our captain is not bad. Chen Weiying said with a smile. Very powerful, much stronger than me. Su Yi nodded. He didn't lie. The current him, in the case that his rage hadn't superimposed to triple his strength and he hadn't turned on the anode state, maybe he really couldn't beat Song Churan. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.